Let's go straight on to the business news. Stephen Carroll is with us here on set. Stephen, you're starting with the stock markets, aren't you? There's a big slump going on at the moment. This is particularly in technology shares, isn't it?
That's right. Tech shares are actually seeing their worst sell-off since the height of the turmoil over the coronavirus pandemic back in March. On Wall Street, the Nasdaq index, which is mostly made up of technology shares, entered correction territory after slumping 10% in less than a week. This as investors fear that the market value of these firms rose too quickly during the pandemic. Tesla, the electric car maker, had its worst day ever on the markets on Tuesday. It finished down 21%, wiping around $82 billion from its market value. But that follows massive jumps in the company's share price in recent months. In August, its market value jumped by over $50 billion in a single day. Now, Tesla by far had the worst day in Tuesday's sell-off, but even the usual stalwarts of the markets like Apple and Microsoft saw their shares tumble, down 6% for Apple, nearly 7% actually, and 5% for Microsoft. The video calling service Zoom, which was one of the big business winners of the lockdown with an increase of working from home, wasn't immune either, its shares dropping 5%. The sell-off continuing in trading in Asia today. The Nikkei in Tokyo finishing the day down 1%, falls 2 across Shanghai, Hong Kong and on the Kospi in Seoul. In Tokyo, SoftBank, big tech investor among the big losers there. Now let's take a look at how the trading has begun today in Europe. Very little movement on the markets at the open. In fact, London's FTSE 100 just dipping into the red and small gains in Paris and in Frankfurt. The other big concern out there for investors today is that news that the COVID-19 vaccine being developed by AstraZeneca is stopping its trials after that adverse reaction seen in one of its volunteers. AstraZeneca shares opening down 2.7% in London.
Going to talk about Apple on the programme now. The legal battle with the makers of the game Fortnite's taken another twist.
That's right, the iPhone maker is counter-suing Epic Games, accusing the software developer of unfair business practices. Epic began legal action against Apple and Google last month after they pulled Fortnite from their download stores for breaking payment rules. The game maker is challenging the tech giant's dominance with their app stores, which charge 30% commission on payments. Apple says that Epic is portraying itself as a corporate Robin Hood, but that it simply wants to pay nothing for the value it gets from the App Store.
Now, the ride-hailing service Uber has announced big plans. This is actually to switch to electric vehicles.
That's right. The company says that its cars will be fully electric in Europe and North America by 2030, globally by 2040. In some cities, including Paris and Berlin, it's committed to half of all journeys being made in electric cars by 2025. Environmental groups have welcomed the move, saying that it'll help save 500,000 tonnes in carbon emissions in Europe. Inka Oyatade has the story.
Taking a ride in an Uber like this can emit 40% more carbon compared to driving your own car. The ride-hailing app wants to change this. It's pledging to switch half of its fleet in Europe and North America to electric by 2030.
Uber has a clear responsibility to reduce our environmental impact. And today, we're committing to work with cities to build back better together and to tackle the climate crisis more aggressively than ever before.
Uber's pledge is equivalent to removing the CO2 emissions of 275,000 privately owned cars in Europe. To hit its goal, the ride-sharing app says it will commit $800 million to help its drivers go green. In North America, hybrid vehicle drivers could earn an extra 50 cents per ride, while fully electric vehicle owners stand to earn an extra $1.50. While in Europe, Uber is in talks with Renault-Nissan to give discounts to its drivers on electric vehicles. This could go a long way to help its drivers make the switch, which can be expensive. Uber's pledge could cut 500,000 tonnes from Europe's carbon dioxide emissions. While the announcement was welcomed by campaign group Transport and Environment, this move will only go some way to reducing emissions from cars. The NGO is calling for stricter CO2 standards in the EU to make electric vehicles a more attractive option for all drivers.
Now then, how did you spend your lockdown? Was it like that on a game console? Apparently, the number of them sold really jumped during lockdown, and manufacturers are expecting that to continue on.
Yeah, it's thanks to games like Animal Crossing that helped demand for the likes of Nintendo Switch to soar in recent months. The company actually had trouble keeping up with demand, saying that it had problems getting some of the parts for the Switch to meet this high increase in people who wanted to play it. Profits in Nintendo jumped by more than 400% as a result. Now Now, Bloomberg is reporting that Nintendo is going to increase production of the Switch by as much as 20% for next year. That's as it prepares reportedly to launch an upgraded version. Hard to tell if Nintendo thinks that we're going to still be spending a lot more time at home, or just that we really, really like Animal Crossing.
What's wrong with a good book, Stephen? That's what I want to know.
Nothing, but it doesn't, it's not as cute.
Doesn't beep. Thanks a lot. I'm such a dinosaur. Stephen Carroll with the business news on 4 Hours 24.